Some news right off the top for Vanderbilt. Tyron Lawrence, preseason All-SEC, second team for Vanderbilt, is unavailable here tonight. It's a foot injury. So keep tabs on that throughout the course of tonight's ball game. But plenty to talk about and some really significant pieces back for Vanderbilt, including Ezra Mignon, Colin Smith, and the Doors start with the basketball. Here's Paul Lewis. He gives it up. Camateros off to Mignon to Colin Smith. And that is deflected. Gets it back with 8 seconds to shoot. 5 seconds to shoot for Taylor. Lefty can't connect. The transfer from Lehigh. Our first look at Presbyterian here tonight, guys. Out of the Big South Conference. Jump shot is up, and it's good. Right on through for Caleb Scott. Here's the starting five for Vanderbilt. What do you guys expect you to see from Vanderbilt in game number one? And again, the starting five for Vanderbilt here.
Well, you're going to see a healthy dose of some offense. They're going to get out and run a little bit, but for the most part, they're going to try to run their spots, make sure they get guys that can really shoot it. Certainly like the one and only knocking down shots. You're going to see him make a lot of shots.
He's a big guy, but he can shoot at the transfer from South Dakota.
Over 40% from three last year. Can shoot the basketball, and you all obviously see right here one of the best on-ball defenders coming into the front court. Mignon is outstanding on the defensive end.
Right back down low. The floater's not there. Good defense by Camateros. Good opening 90 seconds for him.
Camateros is going to do a great job guarding that 5 position, but then on the offensive end, he's going to stretch the floor for the Commodores as well.
So a turnover at Vanderbilt. The Presbyterian head coach, Quentin Farrell, this season as the head coach. A former Blue Hose himself from about 15, 20 years ago. And in his 5th season, head coach Jerry Stackhouse.
Has it been 5 years already?
We've been talking about that.
Years.
Crazy.
Wow.
Pull-up jump shot is good. Nice jump shot by Harvey. He's a transfer from UNC Wilmington. And quickly Presbyterian 4-3, opening 2 minutes here tonight.
Presbyterian was blistering from the field the other night, shooting over 70% in their exhibition game.
That's incredible regardless of who you're playing.
Doesn't matter, does it, Shane?
Triple tries, no good for Paul Lewis. Out to Colin Smith. Battles off. Heavy dose of 3-pointers so far for Vanderbilt.
You got to like the confidence coming out. When you get an open shot, have the confidence to put it up. They're going to fall as the game goes on. Got to get those early season jitters out. I like the shots that they're taking right now.
Absolutely. And you're talking, Andrew, to 2 guys that like that 3-point shot. Already 4 3-point attempts for Vanderbilt early in this game.
Like the 3-point shots and can knock down the 3-point shots. So 1 + 1 equals plenty of points for both of you guys. Smith thought about it. Pull-up jump shot for Lewis. No good on the tap in for Colin Smith.
I'll tell you what, any guard that's trying to take Ezra off the dribble better rethink that real quick.
$15-footer from the corner is no good. That time for Marquise Barnett. The top returning scorer with 9 points per game, 61% from the free throw line a season ago for Presbyterian.
Barnett tried the one dribble pull-up, the classic. Drew, when's the last time you saw a one dribble pull-up in college basketball?
No more mid-range, right? It's out. It is out. Analytics has taken that shot out of the game.
Foul coming up against Vanderbilt. That's going to go against Mignon.
Already love Vanderbilt's defensive energy. You're seeing a lot of switching 1 through 4. All those handoffs. Vanderbilt's doing a great job of shielding, pushing the offensive player out against the sideline, doing a great job in their switches here early on. But that's 2 fouls, I believe, on Mignon.
It is, and Stackhouse is certainly known for his defensive prowess. His teams are going to get after it on that side of the floor.
So Mignon comes out of the ball game. Rivera Torres comes in, the freshman from New York. kind of wondered who the first really true freshman off the bench for Vanderbilt was going to be because of the fouls. It's Rivera Torres. Again, 6'6", 180 out of the Bronx.
So one of the things that the Commodores are going to have to improve upon from last season is seeing the roll guy on those ball screens as he makes a nice little fadeaway jump shot right there.
Tough. Rivera Torres will never forget that shot. His first made field goal in this building.
A smooth one, too.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first one?
I do remember my first one against Sanford University, where my kids went to college.
Okay.
On that end was a three-pointer in the right corner.
I love it.
What about you, Shane? Do you remember your first?
I dunked on a 7-footer.
Oh, let's go. I can't say I had that epic of a shot.
I think you got set up for it.
Let's go.
That was classic setup right there.
Man,
he wanted the return. He wanted the boomerang question back.
Yeah. Set up punchline.
You know how we do. You throw the oop, you got to throw it back.
That's right.
You threw your own oop.
Yeah, you threw it to yourself. Do you get an assist for that?
Get a hockey assist.
So, 5-4. We're off to a good start with this crew. How about Rivera Torres, the first career points for the young man from New York. Looking smooth.
A great deal from Great Wolf Lodge is coming. Save up to 40%.
Best is shooting the basketball. We saw his multi-dimension to his game with that drive and that pull-up. Great control of his body, came in, great presence, has a great calmness to him. Very impressed thus far.
You tell me, it looks like he's got good length as well.
Great length. Look at how long his arms are, and has a little acting skills as well. From what I understand, what he was in the show Swagger.
Yes.
On Apple TV.
Yes.
You got to show some swagger on the court.
There you go.
Yeah. Colin Smith getting physical. Leaves it short. Well, Vanderbilt 2 for 10 to start off the ball game.
So many players leave layups short. And I think it has a lot to do with growing up as a kid. You're always shooting up at the basket.
Yeah.
But then as your body matures, now you're up there with the basket, and it changes completely.
How so?
Because the more athletic you are, you actually are up there with the rim, and so you feel like you should baby it because you've been pushing it so much your whole life.
Look at
Calderos with another three.
My goodness. 2 for 2. He's close to 1,000 points already. Came into his Vanderbilt career at 989 points. So that's a storyline to watch, as he's already 5 points shy of 1,000 points.
Foul against Vanderbilt here. It's going to go against Camateros, but nice release. Second triple of the ball game.
The thing I love about this is he does not hesitate at all. He's locked and loaded, right on the catch. You know it's going up if he has any space, and it's a bucket.
I love it. The pick and pop, gets behind the line, had great line awareness, got both feet located behind that three-point line. And Shane, it looks like a little bit of your stroke there. He held that follow through and stuck that picture. That's what we like to see.
You got to leave that hand up there and make it pretty. You look good, you shoot good.
What was that, a reference from White Man Can't Jump? Was that a little Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes reference of It's So Pretty?
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty.
That was a great movie, by the way.
Oh, first look at a press after a made free throw.
Also, Malik Presley has checked into the ball game, a freshman from San Marcos, Texas. Where's number 13 for Vanderbilt? Off there in the corner.
Nice horns look right there to see if you can get Camateros for another three-point look. On drives like that, when you see a guy open, you got to get it to him quick. A lot of times that ends up being bad ball handling. Guys that don't handle it well, that ball just doesn't rise as quickly, and they're not able to get rid of the ball on rhythm like they need to.
Such a great point, you know, especially at this level, Shane, and you can speak to this so much even at the next level. But that window of time, it closes quickly, and young players, sometimes will overextend that dribble. One more dribble than is necessary. Get that ball out of your hands to the shooter.
Here's
good
Presley.
drive.
Another first.
Great kick, great finish.
Like that physicality. Nice little left-handed finish.
Well, Malik is going to bring that. That's what he brings to this team, a level of physicality on both sides of the floor. If he gets anywhere close to the rim, he's going to be able to do some things with it.
No good for Barnett.
Great drive right there. He left his feet to pass, but Presley knew how to make sure he got to his spot. He didn't settle for the little mid-range jumper. He got to his spot, got to 2 feet, was able to get his body underneath him and finish at the basket.
Yeah, he's a good-looking player, isn't he? Look at his length. 6'6", 200, athletic. Number 35, Carter Lane, checking into the basketball game.
Reminds me of a Rajon Rondo with those long arms.
Yeah. Lefty as well.
Here's Carter Lang. Off to Paul Lewis. That's deflected out of bounds back to Presbyterian. Plus J.Q. Roberts in the ball game as well.
He looked like he had made up his mind that he was going to pass that ball before he even saw what the defensive was giving him. If he would have spinned back the other direction, he probably would have had a nice little left-hand layup.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, you could see when he drove the ball, it was more lateral. There was no verticality to his drive, really looking to attack the basket and then make a reactive pass out of it.
Oh, nice save by Carter Lang. On the trailer for Lewis. Has space and kicks it.
That is one thing Paul Lewis can do, is shoot the rock.
And Shane, was that not so good? He pumped the brakes right there, kept the defender on his backside, still rose up, straight up and down on balance. What a big-time shot.
That's a move that these guys are practicing nowadays. It used to be something that only your elite point guards would actually do in games. Now, even at the college level, they're practicing that. They're working on that, repping that out. So it makes it easy in the game to make sure that you put that into the repertoire.
Such a great point.
Out to Rivera Torres. Battles off. Saved by Vanderbilt. Paul Lewis again. Yes!
There we go. There we go.
Back-to-back buckets for Paul Lewis. He's wearing number 3 for a reason.
At 15 triples a season ago. Knocks that one down.
Defensive energy picks up a little bit when you go back-to-back makes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Foul called against Vanderbilt. That's the Doors' 4th foul here in the first half. But look at Paul Lewis. That smooth stroke from distance. Good to watch him fire. Vanderbilt 15-5.
Points is so much more difficult to build continuity.
And you never stop recruiting. Even when the guys are on campus, even when they're doing well, you're still recruiting those guys. The landscape of college basketball is so difficult for college coaches right now, and it's so hard to build a program and really build some consistency when you really don't know what your roster is going to look like year after year.
You know, just to put it in baseball terms, and Vanderbilt has 2 significant transfers in Taylor, and we've seen Camateros so far. I talked with Coach Corbin about this a little bit. The guy that he gives so much respect to is Dave Van Horn at Arkansas, because he brings in a ton of transfers every single season, a lot of them JUCOs, and he makes them Razorbacks like that. That is hard to do. So to your point, Drew, to get that cohesiveness with all of the transfers is uniquely challenging in today's college athletics.
And it also depends on what kind of player you are, too, because if you thrive in situations where you have to compete, then it doesn't bother you at all.
Yes.
Because every single year, you're having to compete for that spot, compete for those minutes on the floor, compete for your role on the team.
And I think Shane brings up a great point, Andrew, in this really starts when kids are younger. This is a youth sport problem. Because if I don't get what I want in one location, I don't get the playing time, the role I want, the position I want, I'm a free agent at 6, 7, 8 years old. I'll just go to the next play, the next program, and I'll take my bag and go somewhere else. And so it really does start to build a mindset of what Shane is speaking to, of really searching for, instead of competing for your spot and building grit, perseverance, resiliency. I remember being a freshman, it was hard. There was hard days trying to earn your way. Those were some of the most valuable lessons that I ever received in my lifetime, were those early days when it was hard.
No doubt, no doubt. And again, just to double down, I've got the utmost respect in the coaches that can build the cohesiveness quickly and the ability to identify the right person for your program, the competitive nature that you're talking about, Shane. So it's not new. I don't think it surprises people to see 41% of scoring from transfers, but that is the statistic at this point in time.
And it will be more this year.
No doubt. He checked for Paul Lewis, wouldn't fall.
You got to shoot that. I don't care if there's a hand on your forehead. You have to shoot it.
No doubt. Let that one ride.
Listen, I make one. I'm letting the next one ride.
If I miss 5 in a row, I'm letting the next one go. It ain't even a question. Heat check is always in session.
Always. If I'm on the floor, it's a heat check.
That's right.
It's not heat check, it's just status quo.
Another basket from Rivera Torres. I love that drive.
So that's another thing that you see very different in college sports, where guys are not preparing for the game in warm-ups.
Right.
In a way that allows them to be hot when the game starts.
Right.
Right? Like I knew during warm-up the games when I was going for 30. Easy. Because in warm-ups, you can't miss. You shoot game shots, you're playing one-on-one, you're getting after it. Right. So once the game starts, it's easy.
Well, that's what made you different, and what I hope made me different was it's not just wanting to win. It's like wanting to be excellent even in the preparation of what it takes to win, of what it takes to be excellent. Everything matters. Nothing's little, nothing's big, and you're seeing that translate to, I mean, look at trying to play through contact right there.
He's doing a great job of using a pump fake, but he's not taking advantage of it when the defense gets out of position. He's got to be able to draw those fouls quickly.
Lewis rattles off. Well, Vanderbilt is 3 for 10 so far from three-point distance. You've got 5 points for Lewis, 2 points for Presley, 4 points for Rivera Torres, and 6 points for Comatero so far. So 17-9. Vanderbilt leads with 9 minutes to go here in this first half.
And remember, you're doing this all with Magnan out of the game with 2 fouls.
Yeah.
And Lawrence, once again, not playing tonight. So you're talking about 2 of the most experienced players in the SEC not on the floor. Vanderbilt continuing to get exactly what they want on the offensive end.
This is a great opportunity for a lot of these transfers, a lot of these young guys who weren't with the program last year to come in and prove that they can play at a high level.
Yes.
Foul called against Vanderbilt, so that's 5 personal fouls on Vanderbilt with 8:53 to go. Goes against Carter Lang, his first personal foul. I don't know if this is a yin or a gang, and I don't want to make too much out of it, but it feels like a balance between wanting to get the flow with your 2 best players out there versus the ability for some young players to get significant playing time. And again, it's one game, it's 10 minutes. I don't want to make too much out of it, but it feels like there's a balance there that Vanderbilt is either taking advantage of or missing out on.
Well, you're always evaluating, right? Like that's just the nature of college and professional sports. You're always evaluating. At a high school level, middle school level, you're starting to kind of your starters. But at this level, every single opportunity that you get on the floor is game film. It's an evaluation. It's building trust with your coaching staff and with your teammates. All of it matters.
And speaking of that, we're getting our first look at local product Isaiah West from Good Pasture Christian School, Springfield, Tennessee. I believe that's 10 players now that have checked into the basketball game, to your point, Shane, of really evaluating. So now 10 players. What are they going to call right there? Is that a foul? Yeah, I called a foul on Lane trying to receive that inbounds pass.
Second personal foul for Carter. Or excuse me, goes against Caleb Scott, Georgia State transfer.
Now, you guys knew I had to give a Good Pasture reference in the broadcast tonight.
You just have to.
The greatness that they produce is overwhelming, Drew.
It's a pipeline. Good Pasture to Vanderbilt.
Champions play there.
Nice set.
Oh, almost goes in right there for Reddish Roan.
Caleb Scott is out here with the little Kyrie mug on his face. I couldn't do it. I admire guys who can play with all of those extra things on their face and on their arms. I had a headband. That was about it.
Yeah.
And my eyesight was bad, so I couldn't see. Definitely couldn't see with a mask on.
Yeah. Your eyesight is bad? Was it bad in college?
It was. So, funny story.
With your three-point percentage, your eyesight was bad?
My freshman and sophomore year, I shot the ball and my eyes were so bad that when I was forced to go see an eye doctor, they literally asked the question, does this guy actually play college basketball? Like, I had to pull up my stats like, I get time on the floor to actually make shots, right?
Yeah.
So they made me get glasses, made me get contacts, and the next year I shot worse from three than I did the year before.
Did you really? Wow.
Because it was all muscle memory.
Right.
Nice
Another
finish at
first.
the rim.
Isaiah West with his first Vanderbilt basket. Who was it? Jaylen Brown last year for the Celtics that wore the black mask, and even after his injury had improved, he still wanted to wear it because he'd gotten pretty superstitious about it.
Yeah.
Signed the largest contract in the history of the NBA, so it must.
He did. I'd wear the mask too.
Roberts out of bounds, but how about a couple of freshmen being able to knock down buckets early on for Vanderbilt? West has 2 points, Presley has 2 points, and this guy, Rivera Torres, with 4 points for Vanderbilt early on. Vanderbilt 9 as well.
Yeah, Comateros, I mean, we've already seen it. 2 3-pointers already. 40% from 3 last year for South Dakota, so I'm really excited about his ability to bring an inside element to it, especially in today's world of where the game is more flat. You got to have those bigs that can stretch the floor.
I feel he's going to get even more opportunities playing the 5 than playing the 4 because he's not quick enough off the bounce to do anything against a 4, but against a 5, he's stretching the floor every time with a slower defender running at him.
Harvey for 3. Rebound Vanderbilt. Just a quick note, Vanderbilt does have 6 personal fouls, most notably Ezra Mignon with 2. You've got 1 with West, 1 with Lang, 1 with Comateros, 1 with Rivera Torres. Foul is called.
I think the early storyline in the first half has been how outstanding Vanderbilt's been on the defensive end. 31%, 14% from 3, holding Presbyterian, and then crushing the glass at a +10 rebound margin at 18-8. So they're rebounding, Shane, those misses, which is so important so you can catapult into your offense to the other end of the floor.
Well, it sounds a little bit like Bill Belichick, right? Like, do your job. You coming up against this team, first game of the season, there's no excuse to not be dominating in the areas of effort. Right? That's what we're talking about. You're talking about rebounding. You're talking about steals. You're talking about making sure you take care of the ball. It's all about effort, intention, and detail. And that's what the Commodores are coming out here doing right now.
First free throw is good for West. Yeah, Vanderbilt with 5 more shots so far tonight, in part because they've kept Presbyterian off of the offensive glass.
You limit the second opportunities and give yourself a great chance to win games.
Those fouls are always killers. On a missed free throw, then you get a foul on the rebound, and they're in the bonus situation. So without the clock moving, you put them on the free throw line 94 feet away from where you just were.
Foul went against Jordan Williams. First shot is good there. Knocked down by Reddish Rome. Jordan Williams, one of those transfers out of Texas A&M, did not play for Buzz Williams and his crew a season ago.
Well, what's interesting, Drew, is that when you think about basketball IQ, you think about knowing when to shoot, when to pass, when to drive. But it's also about when to foul.
That's right.
Right? Like
no doubt.
You get 5. You want to make sure you use them in the appropriate spots so that you're not limiting yourself on either side of the floor.
That's right, and to your point, with 7 minutes left in the first half, you've already put the opposition in the bonus situation as well.
Foul goes against Marquise Barnett. It's his first personal foul. Couple of free throws for Carter Lang. 6'9", 235 pounds, a freshman from Charlottesville, Virginia. A 4-star recruit, number 43 prospect in the country by Rivals. Roberts goes out, Colin Smith goes back in.
It's also interesting to me to see the evolution of the shorts, the basketball shorts. Right? Like when I came in, we were all about length. They had to come below your knees. What about your era?
Yeah, same for us. I mean, we were in that, the Fab Five really brought the long, baggy shorts. MJ was in his height. The baggy shorts were in, so it had moved to that in my career as well. So it had to be below our knees.
Yeah.
The longer, the better.
Yeah, yeah. Now these guys are almost wearing tights. Just get some nice tights, put some stripes on there, throw the new Vandy logo. Let's go play ball.
I like these, by the way. New uniforms for Vanderbilt.
Great delivery.
It's a good basketball shot right there.
Really like that. Isaiah West drove that basketball, won the paint, nice pop pass, zipped that ball out to the shooter.
Great ball handler. He got it out right on time.
Out of bounds on the pass by Parrish. And Vanderbilt gets it back.
Just another outstanding defensive effort. And the other thing from Vanderbilt, what you're seeing is, once again, as you watch them on the defensive end, watch how great of a job they do to press up against the sideline and use the sideline as a great defender, keeping that ball out of the middle of the floor.
They do that consistently and have for a while. They do it at a very high level.
Kick out for Taylor. Rattles off.
Camateros with the offensive rebound. Stackhouse got to be excited about that.
9 offensive rebounds for Vanderbilt so far. Would not go in the corner again. Yeah, so 3 for 13 for Vanderbilt from three-point range so far.
Well, Evan Taylor has gotten a few up.
Yeah, he'll be fine. Good transfer from Lehigh.
1,100 points, 500 rebounds, 100-plus assists, 2-time All-Patriot League selection. He'll be just fine.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love the confidence to just keep shooting.
No doubt. All of those have been great shots. No force, no stress, no tension in the shot. Great shots.
Little pinch post action right here by Presbyterian.
That's a foul. Back to your point, Shane. It's not a smart foul.
It's not. It's not at all. Presbyterian has to do a better job of attacking the mismatch when they get the switch right here. You just allow them to switch back when you go back to the other side of the floor.
Right. It's a great basketball point. It's recognition.
Yeah.
It's recognition. See the switch, get Camateros switched off on you, and you don't take advantage off the bounce to really create something for your team.
Now, would you have wanted him to attack the basket in that situation, or because Camateros was giving some space, perhaps step back for a three-pointer?
Well, it depends
or either.
It depends on the skill set.
Yeah.
If your skill set is to shoot jumpers, then you give him a hard move as if you're going to attack the basket, and then you step back into your jumper and rhythm. If you're a driver, then you show him a little head fake, and then you try to use your speed and ball handling and creativity to get by him and get to the basket, create for yourself or someone else.
That's right. But he had Camateros on him.
Yep.
Obviously a 6'8", 6'9" player. You're on the perimeter, and you cross back over and go right back to the switch that just occurred.
But it's also something that you talk about in film.
Yep.
Right? As a guard, you know, if I get switched on to any of these guys, they're slow-footed, I'm attacking 100% of the time.
Goes back to Vanderbilt. By the way, guys, just a small note, 3 for 7 from the free throw line. Again, not going to make too much out of the first half of the first game, but 3 for 13 from three-point range, 3 for 7 from the free throw line. Obviously, these guys are getting their confidence back with game rhythm shooting.
Well, one thing that probably gets the least amount of work in the offseason is free throws.
So 22-14, Vanderbilt with the advantage. 4 minutes to go first half.
Dad, we're gonna be late.
Major way, he does it consistently.
So special, and I know you would agree with this, Shane. We love sports for a lot of reasons, but it creates an experience in a shared way that is just so meaningful and so impactful in a way that no other aspect of your life can do. And what it did right there for all of those involved, kudos to Coach Stackhouse and his staff for creating a memorable moment.
Lewis off the glass and in for Paul Lewis. He's got 7 points and he leads Vanderbilt here tonight.
Paul Lewis showing you he can knock down the trade ball and he can take it to the hoop and finish on the break as well.
That was too easy of a drive right there. Too easy of a gap penetration. There was no wing help to close that gap. No interior help to come over and rim protect. Way too easy of a drive there.
Well, what ends up happening in those situations, as we see the missed lob attempt there, guys come down the floor and they pick up their men, but they're not as intentional about their spacing and making sure they're in the right position as Colin gets a dunk right there.
First points of the ball game for Colin Smith. That's got to feel good. 0 for 4 finally gets on the board here tonight.
Yeah, because he's one I'm really excited about seeing his progression this year. I really think he sets up to have a big-time, impactful role on this team. So it's good to see that first 2. Much like Shane Foster, first 2 of the year. Nice little slam dunk on that end.
Yes.
You got to take that one with a grain of salt, though. He did miss a lot.
Right. Didn't get back on defense.
You know, his shoe came off. He had to adjust his socks. You know, got to steal on the other side. Now he gets a two-hand.
Keep him humble. Keep him humble,
Shane.
Shane.
Keep him humble. Got to keep him humble. It wasn't on anybody. He didn't catch a body. You know?
All right, so let's talk about all of the things that went evidently, according to Shane Foster, wrong in this moment for Colin Smith.
When he caught the ball, there was not a black jersey in sight.
That's
just
right.
When he gets to the rim.
Bring him down,
I love
Shane.
it. Listen, I love Colin. I think he's going to have a phenomenal year. I really love his work in the offseason.
But
that was just easy. That's all I'm saying. It was just
I'm
easy.
messing around.
I would have liked to see him catch the lob. 100%.
Yeah. Nice little play out of the timeout. That would have been nice. That would have been nice.
He is going to be significant as Comateros knocks down the free throw, though. We're very curious to see how he steps in, right? So a couple of significant pieces off of this team from a season ago. You still have Tyrant, not available tonight. Still have Ezra Mignon. But you're going to need to get production, especially from a 3rd, 4th, and 5th scorer. And how Colin Smith steps into that role is huge. Had 16 starts a season ago. And a career-high 15 points for Texas A&M. Against Texas A&M last year. Bucket is good by Caleb Scott.
That was great basketball against the press right there. To your point, I think Colin has to think about the game in increments and make sure he understands, I don't have to go out and do it all. I just got to make sure I maximize my opportunities, make at least 2 or 3 buckets per half. You can do that, get to the free throw line a little bit, all of a sudden you're averaging 15 a game.
Yeah, so that right there seemed like a stress-filled shot. You know, it was a little bit, it wasn't in the rhythm of the flow of the offense. To Shane's point, he definitely was feeling himself a little bit after the dunk and wanted to take advantage, but let the offense kind of flow and happen.
Comateros for 3.
Coaching staff gives him so much confidence, and rightfully so. The guy can purely shoot the basketball. I love the fact that there's no hesitation.
Yes, for Scott. That's an aggressive take.
I can't let Drew just skirt past the comment that he made that Colin was feeling himself after the dunk. You can't be feeling yourself after that. Like, not that. If he'd have caught the lob, then yes. But
Spoken by somebody that never dunked in my Vanderbilt career and had to listen to chants at Cameron Indoor that he can't dunk. He can't dunk. So I appreciate anybody that can get above the rim and dunk.
I love it.
Shot clock violation against Vanderbilt. 40 seconds to go first half. I can't believe you can't dunk, Drew. Let me tell you all the times.
I can dunk. I did not dunk.
Did not.
Did not. In
Not
high school,
cannot.
I dunked many times. Just in my Vanderbilt career, I took the 2 points, and then it became kind of a thing. I just ran back to the other end.
But how many opportunities did you have?
So many, because I did lead the SEC in steals.
Yeah.
I had a lot of pick six turnovers.
And you just laid it up.
Now we just lay it.
And there's the basketball court.
Can they see how much fun we're having down here at courtside? I hope the fans in attendance are having as much fun as we are.
I'm telling you, listen, it's basketball season. We in Nashville. What else do you want?
Presbyterian making a little push here at the end of the half. Quietly.
Yeah, look, they've played well. They've been physical. They've been aggressive. Caleb Scott has been good down low.
Presbyterian did a great job of switching all of that action right there. You got double screens on one side of the floor. You got pick and pop actions. They've done a great job of just staying solid.
Gotta shoot it.
Shot clock again.
At the buzzer.
Those guys
Can build an advantage and try to pull away here in the second half.
Comateras with 8 points in that first half. We said it earlier, but he came into his Vanderbilt career at 989 points, so he's just 3 shy of that milestone of 1,000 points in a career, which is significant in college basketball.
Absolutely. Many have tried, few have achieved it.
Right back to Mignon on the floor. And gets rejected. A foul by Presbyterian. Goes up with 2 hands, and Mignon's at the free throw line for a couple of shots just like that. 15 seconds into the second half, and he's made an impact.
If his name was Drew Maddox, he would have got some contact and laid that thing up.
That would have been an and one. 100% an and one.
I was waiting to say looking like Drew Maddox, but then he went up with 2 hands, and that went out the window. So.
No, here's what would have happened. It would have been a left-hand shield, draw the physicality with the right-hand finish, sell it to the official, maybe even fall down a little bit, sell it before all this flop, was going on in the game. And I would have been at the free throw line shooting 1.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Ezra. It's game 1. I'm trying to send a message to the entire college basketball landscape. Jump if you want to. We catching bodies in Nashville, Tennessee.
I love it.
I mean, he didn't make it, though.
He didn't.
But he did make his free throws.
Okay, yes. 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
And it looks good on film. You get a nice picture. We got an amazing picture crew. Photographers in here,
All about the pictures.
It's all about the pictures.
That'll be on social media later.
You better believe it.
2 free throws for Caleb Scott.
No, that's right. That's right. All up, and then it will cut right before the foul.
No doubt.
100%.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
I'm with you, Shane. That is quite the mask. That's it. I mean, respect high to be able to play with that.
High level. Concentration, focus.
Unaffected, 7 points for Presbyterian. He does lead the Blue Hose in scoring here today. And I feel like he's been aggressive down low, has a couple of dunks. He's not shied away from contact. He's part of the reason Presbyterian is down by just 4.
One of those transfers, too, from Georgia State.
Yeah.
Continue to speak to that narrative.
A little more than a third of their entire points. One of the parts of the game that I think young guys don't pay attention to as much as they should is the ability to set really good screens.
Look at that.
Doing what he does.
That makes offense look so much better, so much smoother. We got late into the shot clock right there, and Ezra makes all things look good.
Well, he's so quick off the bounce that you can't really stay in front of him if he gets going downhill. And then his ability to use his athleticism, rise up over a defense that really contested that shot very well.
Yep. Already a second steal of the half. As we said, coming out of the half, you felt like he would give great energy coming out of the locker room.
And as you can see, that's what's happening. Getting those 2 feet inside the paint, making the game easier for everyone else.
Look at that control over a guy that has several inches on him. Rises up, nice soft shot.
He couldn't have contested that any better without fouling.
10.5 points per game last season for Ezra, 140 assists. I really feel like he started to come on throughout the course of the season. He was good the whole year, but at some point it felt like it kind of clicked for him. Do you guys feel like there was a moment where Ezra sort of settled into himself a season ago?
Absolutely. It's that moment that a lot of players reach when you realize you can do the things you did in high school. It's just figuring out the learning curve, and once you figure that out, and he's able to use his quickness, he's finally understood that no one at this level can stay in front of him off the bounce. He realized that defensively that he could cause a lot of problems, and so he started leaning more into that, and it boded well for the Commodores.
I love it as well. You can track the success that Vanderbilt had in SEC play, coming down to close the season, really to the play of him being so solid at the point guard spot. I believe in SEC play, he was 5-to-1. 5-to-1 assist to turnover ratio.
Yeah, he was first in the conference in conference games. It's number 1 in the conference at assist to turnover ratio.
Crazy.
Nice off the glass by Barnett, the junior from Michigan.
That was a nice drive.
One of those Commodores got to take a charge there. You can't give up straight line drives to the basket. Guys got to make a move.
Guys, we got a 2-point game here.
That we do.
Got hit in the face. Yeah, there you go.
So foul goes against Caleb Scott. Second personal foul.
Palmatero's down there banging in the boards again. If he's going to play like this and go out there and average 6 to 8 rebounds for this Commodore team, with the other size that we have coming off that bench, it's going to get real nice.
I should correct myself. The foul goes against Kobe Stewart. That's his second personal foul. Not against number 30, Caleb Scott. Just notable in the sense that Scott leads this team in scoring with 10 points here tonight for Presbyterian. So 1 personal foul for him. Oh, nice move.
Great move. He was just a little far out in order for that move to work. You really want to get a little bit deeper. So he's out almost at the 3-point line, trying to shoot an up and under floater. That's a tough shot.
And it was up against the shot clock. To his credit, at least there was some recognition of that. But to your point, Shane, that's a move at about the 3 or 4 foot mark, not the 15-foot mark.
Absolutely.
But I do believe he recognized that shot clock was winding down.
Rattles off for Teal. Again for Ezra, and a foul, 2 free throws.
That's going to be a significant play for the Commodores, even going down the stretch. Getting Ezra going downhill off the little handoff right here. It's really difficult for guards to stay in front of him when he's coming downhill like that.
It's one of my favorite actions right now in basketball. They call it a pitch, where you throw the ball ahead, you get a pitch back. Nice little flare screen even for Lewis there to the top, so it clears out that space, Shane. You have somebody in the corner field opposite side. So you have all sorts of options, but your best player headed downhill on a clear outside.
And defensively, you have to cut off the straight line drive without giving up middle. Because if you give up middle, it's a dunk.
Right. That's right. And he's so quick, he can turn that corner back to it. There's no help on the same side of the floor.
Yep.
It's a great action to get Ezra going downhill.
Most actions where your bigs are lifted and you're getting your guards going downhill is just great basketball.
Yep. Vanderbilt little zone look right here.
This is an interesting coaching move to go to zone here, considering they've been able to keep guys in front. They're not getting beat off the bounce or anything like that, but switching it up a little bit.
Well, for what it's worth, it does force the turnover for Presbyterian. The Doors by 3.
House that, to me, as a former alum of the program, makes me even more proud than even the on-court success. I love the investment. I love what he's doing in the young men's lives and creating moments like what we saw earlier.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. When you're able to see the maturation of these players, the maturation of the team to really be able to improve not only year after year, but even within the season, it bodes well to how intentional they are about player development, about developing the team, and making sure that they're getting better consistently.
Love that action coming out of the timeout. Nice little set that was dialed up there. Vanderbilt swinging that basketball, got a nice pick and roll in the middle of the floor for Lang to be able to get that foul and go to the free throw line.
And Lang's 6'9", right? Like, so you get a big coming down the middle of the paint right there. To be able to get pressure on the rim is huge for the Commodores.
So 3 for 5 from the free throw line for Carter Lang here tonight. He's got 3 points total. Well, substitutions as Stewart checks back into the ball game here for Presbyterian. One for 2 from the free throw line. Rebound brought in by Pierce, a junior from Florida.
A little flat ball screen that got turned into another screen. Commodores did a good job of limiting them to one shot.
Vanderbilt's been outstanding on the glass. I mean, just one shot attempt. I think Andrew said Presbyterian only had 2 offensive rebounds at halftime.
And it's still 2.
He went strong to the basket there, was unable to get a good angle.
Nice little drop.
No good for 3 from Harvey.
Again, just one shot for Presbyterian. I think they got to do a better job of getting the ball to the big on the roll. Even if he can't catch it and turn and score, you giving it to him makes the defense have to pay attention to it, and it opens up that backside three-point shot.
Up and good for Presbyterian. It's a 2-point ball game, and Vanderbilt has 10 turnovers here tonight.
Yeah, to your point, Shane, when you hit that roll guy in the middle of the floor, headed downhill in the paint, that's just like a paint win off the drive as well. Yep. So, like you said, you get that touch, that paint win, and we can then kick the ball back out.
It has just been a tough night shooting the basketball for Vanderbilt, especially from 3. 3 for 17 for Vanderbilt. That's about 18%. And 31% from the floor.
It looks like he's cramping. Paul Lewis over here with the trainers.
Oh, I know that feeling only too well. I felt like I cramped up about every single game.
That was a pretty shot, lefty stroke.
Yeah, it was.
Kobe Stewart led him in scoring the other night in their exhibition game. We got a tie ball game.
Yes, sir. 34 apiece.
Commodores are going to have to pick it up defensively, and somebody other than Ezra is going to have to get a paint touch.
Yeah, Vanderbilt 0 field goals the last 5 minutes and 18 seconds with their 11th turnover.
Up and in, and Presbyterian's got the advantage. Kobe Stewart with the lefty finger roll.
Now they're going to have to go flat and just let Ezra go play basketball.
Little floppy action coming on off the down screen. Good cut.
Ezra, yes, nice.
Back to your point, Shane. That all started, though, with the post entry to the block.
Yep.
And it allowed that cut to really be opened up for Ezra.
Paint touch, open three-point shot. That's a good look. They got to make sure they make those.
No good for Presley. And one. Jamahri Harvey, a 6'4" junior from Fayetteville, North Carolina, off the glass and in for Harvey.
Drew, we talked about this before the game. When you allow teams to stick around for a long time and they feel that they got a chance, now you're playing against a completely different team. You watch the last few possessions by Presbyterian. They're on attack mode, off the bounce, off the catch. They're not hesitating. Now they're playing with a level of confidence that the Commodores are going to have to get that water turned off if they want to get back in front of this game.
It's a great point. I mean, last night we saw Michigan State, James Madison hangs around. All of a sudden, 17-point underdog jump up and make a shot to win a game.
Yep.
You give these teams a little bit of confidence, strange things start to happen.
Well, at this level, everybody played well in high school. No matter the universe, everybody averaged 18 to 20 or more in high school. So it's not guys, you're not playing against guys who are not capable. You have to overwhelm them with your grit, with your tenacity, with your togetherness, even when you're missing shots.
Off the front of the rim for Rivera Torres. Offensive board, Smith. And 2 free throws. So 2 free throws after the timeout for Colin Smith to try to tie this ball game. Fingers crossed for Collins. Vanderbilt by 2. Back in a second to Nashville.
Coaching staff with getting the right players in the right seats. And Vanderbilt is showing a level of excellence here that gets us really, really excited.
And I'll say this too. Not that it hasn't been said before, but Chancellor Diermeyer giving the green lights for people to then pursue the excellence that we desire is really significant too. Candace is tremendous. She needed the green light to be able to go be excellent. Chancellor Diermeyer provided that. It's like administrators say all of the time, I'm not trying to get in a coach's way. I'm just trying to help them be excellent. And that's what Chancellor Diermeyer did for Candace in this athletic department.
Absolutely. I mean, there's been a storyline that has been existent for many years that there was separation amongst the university leadership, athletic department. So to see that integration and the working together and the coming together, once again, Shane, to be excellent in everything, every program. It doesn't matter what you're doing. We pursue excellence in everything. It's so refreshing to see.
That's good for Mincy.
I'm so sorry, Andrew. You know, significant on that last foul because that was the 7th team foul when Colin Smith got that rebound and got fouled. And so Vanderbilt will be in the bonus for the rest of the half on a team that has struggled to shoot 30% from the field, 15% from 3. Getting to the free throw line is significant for the rest of the half.
It's huge. It's huge. And it may be the difference between a win and loss.
That's right.
They will need to shoot a little bit better from the free throw line. 9 for 17, about 53% here tonight.
Number 22, Graham Carlton checked into the game as well. I think that's our Vanderbilt's 12th player to check into the game tonight.
I think that's a strategy, you know. You got to be able to see what you got early and give people the opportunity to show what they can do. And as I said before, you know, this is a job interview. You know, early in the season, doesn't matter who the opponent is. This is a job interview. This is film. This is showing the coaches who can be trusted and who can't.
A three-pointer is good for Crosby James. Had 42 three-pointers a season ago and cans that one from the corner. So Presbyterian by 3. 11 minutes to go here in the second half.
That was great action right there, Shane. You saw kind of a crossing of the guards. Nice little pin-down screens. Vanderbilt, once again, some of the inexperience showing up there. Poor switch on that baseline screen. Left that shooter open in the corner.
The other place the inexperience shows up is when Vanderbilt's coming down and it takes them so long to get into their offense. You know, you're not getting a quick drive, or, you know, you're not trying to score in the first 6 minutes. So you come down, you look around, try to set something up, and then they're coming down on the floor, getting into shots quickly. It just gets you in the rhythm a whole lot better. So you see Presbyterian in a much better rhythm offensively than the Commodores right now.
Jump shot is blocked by Rivera Torres, but what a bounce for the Blue Hose. Up and in for two, 43-38. Presbyterian by 5.
What a gratuitous bounce there to get your shot blocked, and then it really set him up for the layup.
They're really tiring out Ezra, considering all of the actions have to be created by him right now. Otherwise, they're coming down similar to the way Presbyterian was to start the game. One and done.
There's that pitch action. Zero can shoot it now. Zero can shoot it. Crosby James, 8 straight points.
Anytime you let somebody feel like they can play with you, they show up and they do. Now you're playing against a different player, all because you let them breathe a little bit. Commodores are going to have to show a little determination here. They're going to have to get some grit. They're going to have to do it on the defensive end. Stack is going to have to help them get in position a little bit in order for them to get back in control of this game.
You know, it's so interesting when Crosby James checked in number 0 for Presbyterian. I saw Andy Fox, the great assistant coach on staff, come up to the Vanderbilt players and said, he's a shooter. Like, remember, he's a shooter. We've seen him knock down his last 2 3-point shots.
8 points here tonight for James.
Going back to experience, he's a shooter is not just for you to know he's a shooter.
Right.
It's for you to take away the three-point shot. And so that's the thing that the Commodores defensively have got to make the switch.
See if they try to find James again coming off a pin down action here. There he is again.
Goodness. Crosby James. Buckets for the Blue Hose.
Hand down, man down. I just said it. He catches the ball on the wing, and it's not overhand. You have to stay tight to the body. Otherwise, it's a bucket.
11 points for that gentleman.
We love our house. The outdoor.
You've got to close that gap. You got to make sure there's no separation.
And look, lots of credit to Presbyterian, but Vanderbilt does not have a field goal in the past 4 minutes. It was this guy. There's the foul. 9th foul, still a 1-and-1, unless they give it 2 shots. It is 2 shots.
We know that Ezra can create. He's so quick. He's going to create angles for himself. The Commodores need somebody else to make shots. They need somebody else to get a paint touch. They need somebody else to score at the basket. Get an offensive rebound. Let's do it on a defensive end. Get a steal for a breakout layup. We got to be able to create some momentum in some way, shape, or form.
Again, not an excuse. No tyrant here tonight. And we talked about the fact that Vanderbilt was going to be in flux, trying to figure out what it means and who's going to be that 3rd or 4th scorer. Well, here tonight, it's your 2nd scorer. And a lot of young players and a young roster are trying to figure that out on the fly in a fairly critical situation.
Well, in the first half, they didn't play great, and they were up by 4. And so sometimes, as a player, you begin to relax, as if we're going to win. We're supposed to win, you know. And then you start taking little things for granted. It's the small details.
What a great drive. Great finish.
Well,
Harvey with the bucket for Presbyterian.
That's what's going to happen in the SEC. When you come off a screen, whether it's a ball screen or you coming off a screen, and Camateros is the one who is closing out to you, he's going to get attacked. That's just what it is.
Yep.
That does stay with Vanderbilt.
In what they do, and they knew that they were going to have a chance to be in the game as long as they hit a few shots and battled on the boards a little bit. In the first half, they weren't getting any second half shots. But then once they got their confidence rolling, They started getting some second chance ones. They hit a few shots. Now you're playing against a drastically different team.
And by the way, for all of those conversations about a mid-major or whatever that beats a Power 5 because they've got a lights-out three-point shooter, that is not it here tonight. Presbyterian with 4 3-pointers that have gone down. I think they've been physical down low. They've been unafraid to challenge Vanderbilt, and guys like, there's been a handful, but Caleb Scott have been strong down low. Most of their points have come in the paint for Presbyterian tonight. And look at Paul Lewis, has to hobble off the floor.
Is it a cramp, or did he get dead-legged in his thigh? Can't really tell, but once again, significant for Magnan to get that rebound, to get fouled, to score what the clock is not ticking when you're behind. You can set up your press even. Yeah. A lot of benefactors to a hustle play by Ezra.
And to your point, with Vanderbilt being in the bonus from the 11-point mark, you have to be in attack mode. Everybody on the floor has to be in attack mode, but you got to do it consistently, especially knowing that the other team is switching. When you get that big, you got to drive it. You got to go make something happen for someone else.
The free throws and the fact that a handful of Blue Hose are in significant foul trouble. Floater is good. That goes through. That's number 1 Barnett. He's got 4 personal fouls, one of the top returning scorers for Presbyterian. If he gets his 5th at this point in the ball game, you do change the complexion for head coach Quentin Farrell.
I like Barnett, Harvey, Scott. I mean, those guys, they're all transfers, to our point from the graphic. They play very experienced, very mature basketball players.
They do. And when you look at this play here, he's coming with a full head of steam. He's going to get a basket. He's not looking to set up offense. He's not looking to find somebody else or defer to anybody else. He's in attack mode as if this is a mismatch. Vanderbilt has to just play with a little more grit, a little more physicality, and take away those opportunities. Even if you have to foul, you cannot give up a one-on-one basket in that situation.
I like what you said there, Shane. Even if you have to foul, you take the foul. That's a take foul. That's a take foul. You're not going to allow an easy basket to occur. And I think Vanderbilt only has 2 team fouls this half anyway. So you have many to give. You can be very aggressive.
Yes. Under no circumstance can you have it easy.
Look out. Oh, what a finish. Jonah Pierce, a two-handed flush. Presbyterian by 13.
Playing with so much confidence.
It's a drastically different, it's a whole other team than what you saw in the first half. Their energy level on the defensive floor is picked up. Commodores, unfortunately, just can't get one to fall. This is a great pass to the trailing big. With the two-hand slam.
Boy, tough night for Colin Smith. And a traveling violation, so the 14th turnover. Colin Smith with, let's see, 3 points here tonight. 1 for 8 from the floor. Certainly not just him. Vanderbilt as a team from distance is 3 for 22.
Yeah, 12 of 44, 27%. 3 for 22, 13%. And shot 25 free throws, but yet you're only 60%.
14 points offensively in the second half for Vanderbilt. Again, give credit to Presbyterian because they've played with the confidence.
That's right.
And they have bumped Vanderbilt off course in the biggest way here in the second half.
Well, the Commodores now are going with 5 guards on the floor to see if they can speed things up and create some better opportunities on the offensive end. But you can't give up layups.
You know what I love right there, Shane, and this is a new kind of modern day basketball principle, but on the drive, the relocation to the opposite side of the goal really pulls that help side defender. You have an outlet. Just an outstanding job by Presbyterian, again, of knowing their offensive concepts.
Absolutely.
Big basketball Vanderbilt right there.
And doing it while the drive is occurring,
right.
Not waiting too late.
5.5 to go.
So now Presbyterian is just running clock and making sure that they're just going to get a good look at the basket every time. Commodores, somebody's going to have to stop the drive. They just are, and it's one-on-one situations.
A couple of different ways that you got to be able to stop the drive. One is got to be off the wing. You got to close that gap and not allow gap split. But number two is, back to your point, Vanderbilt going small, there's no rim protector as well.
There's no rim protector. You can't put the ball inside and take advantage of any mismatches. They're getting good looks. It's not for a lack of getting good looks. They have not shot the ball well from three today. And then defensively, we've had some slippage in the second half that has created significant issues going to the basket for the Commodores.
15 for 22 in the second half for Presbyterian. Taylor for three.
Great extra pass.
Much needed for Vanderbilt. The fourth three-pointer of the ball game. We're down to 12.
It's a big shot by Evan Taylor, but I love the extra pass by Isaiah West. That one more to the corner, swinging that ball through to a shooter. That was a great rhythm shot.
Giving up a good shot for a great one.
Let's see if the offense turns up the defensive intensity for Vanderbilt as well.
Well, normally the Commodores are not in the passing lanes, as Ezra gets a great steal right there. They're not in the passing lanes on the wing, but they may need to be to speed up the Presbyterian team right now.
That's the turnover for Presbyterian that leads to this for Taylor.
Which it started with the paint win. Once again, the paint was won on the drive by Ezra. Great kick out to what we call the 45, the wing slot. Vanderbilt with great spacing, the +1 to the corner to a rhythm shooter. Great offense, but it did start with creating the turnover on defense, transition, paint win, and then great offensive spacing.
Absolutely. Somebody's got to get in the paint, and it's going to have to be somebody other than Ezra. Commodores are just searching for somebody to make a shot. You got one to fall, but you got to bring them in waves in order to get this lead back.
Vanderbilt only has 2 team fouls, too. Nobody else in foul trouble. You're going to have to start taking some chances. You're going to have to start building up that foul bank account.
Foul called against Vanderbilt.
You can't do it by reaching in bad situations. You got to be able to get some passing lanes and make it hard for them to work their offense.
Presbyterian shooting nearly 70%.
Were great. It got them with some momentum, got them feeling good about themselves, but it was fool's gold. They've only made 4 threes the whole game. It's not like they've just been sitting there cashing them in from deep all game long. But the thing that hurts you, and Drew said it, straight line drives to the basket for layups. You got to find a way to make sure that these guys have to make a move after they attack to the basket. They can't get straight lines to the rim.
Rebounding gap has closed 2 guys. Vanderbilt is +6. I don't know what it was in the first half, but it certainly was much more significant than just +6.
You're absolutely right. It's the slippage. When you just assume that, you're the superior team, so you're going to win, you lose the edge that allows you to go in and create and make things happen.
Yeah, I think, Vanderbilt's relying on 6 newcomers that are freshmen. Put the transfers on the sideline for a second. So just talk about the newcomers. The game is longer than a high school game by 8 minutes, and every possession is a competition on offense and defense. And when you're not used to being in a competition on every pass, every catch, every possession, it's hard to sustain it. It just is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you got guys that aren't dependent on to score on a college floor, who you're asking to go out and beat people off the dribble and make things happen and defend at a high level as well.
Just to that point right there. Three-pointer for Taylor. Yes, that is significant. But just to that point about Vanderbilt's newcomers on the flip side, some of the significant names that have contributed here for Presbyterian: James, a senior; Barnett, junior; Stewart, a senior; Harvey, a junior; Pierce, a junior; Scott, a junior.
Taylor's making some nice plays for Vanderbilt. Obviously made 2 shots. Oh, I jinxed him. I jinxed him. The old broadcast jinx.
He made up his mind that he was going to pass that ball as soon as he made the spin. If he spins out of that and he just stops, he likely either has a layup or he's going to see somebody else be open. Right there, he's not even looking at the rim when he finishes the move. And most of the time when you leave your feet, something bad happens, especially off 1 foot going to the basket.
Two free throws for Presbyterian.
Presbyterian is playing with so much confidence this half. I mean, they're coming out of the press, and it's all attack. No, they're not even considering running a play. It's just attack, attack, attack.
We're about 5 to 7 points away from Presbyterian making this game out of reach for Vanderbilt. About. I'm not saying that 100%, but if you talk about that range for Vanderbilt being down 15-ish points with 90 seconds to go, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, one made three-point basket here makes this a 3-possession game, which is really what you need at this 2-minute mark.
On the flip side, yes. So Reddish-Roan knocks down the second free throw.
There's that pitch back action into a flare. Oh, nice little rescreen for Evans. I like that. I like that.
3-point basket that you needed. It's a 3-possession game. You turn around, you get another turnover. Now all of a sudden you got a chance to make some things happen. I think Drew Maddis wanted to shoot that over here as the ball flows out of bounds right to him. I saw it get cocked. I saw you locked and loaded.
I definitely didn't want to give it back. I wanted to check into the game actually right here, Shane. I think you and I could go in and check in right now. I'd like to see a 32 jersey out there.
No good for Taylor. Loose ball. Who's it going to be? Vanderbilt's basketball off of Barnett.
This is a huge possession right here for the Commodores tonight. You're lacking rim protection, and on the other side of the floor, Ezra was really the only person creating for himself or for anyone else.
Yep. 12 points in this half. You take away his 12 points from what Vanderbilt's production has been this half, I mean, really limited. Other than Evans' last 2 3-pointers that he made as well. You got to start playing the foul game. You got a foul to give. You got to start fouling. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You got to create as many possessions as you possibly can in the next minute 26. Once again, college basketball still the 1-and-1 from fouls 7 through 9. That has not changed yet, like the women's game, to the FIBA rules of double bonus every time once you get there. Got a foul.
You got to make a play for the ball.
And now you got to. I guess you're going to play it out. 10 seconds on the shot clock. You're going to have to guard.
Got to go fast. Good take by Ezra right there. Gets to the free throw line. Assuming he makes both. 7-point game.
So you have Lubin out. You have Dort out. And obviously we knew Lawrence was out. And now Colin Smith and Paul Lewis, 2 starters as well tonight, out of the game as well. So, I mean, you are really left with an inexperienced and youthful group of players.
Absolutely.
Oh, here comes Colin back in. Okay, Colin came back from the locker room. He's checking back in the game.
Missed the free throw, though.
Free throws have been Achilles' heel tonight. Gotten to the free throw line 26 times, only making 15. That hurts you, especially as you get into crunch time.
I know the what-if game, guys. If Ezra did not pick up those 2 quick fouls back in the first half.
we said it was going to be painful, and it did.
Well, and I think it's within reason to even question, because you know you have limited playmakers on the floor. Do you push him to play through it early in the season?
Well, still time here. 60 seconds to go for Vanderbilt. 62-54. As you mentioned, Drew, Presbyterian can shoot the free throw fine, but they're certainly not great. If you could get a couple of misses here, especially in these one-and-one situations. Harvey's at the free throw line. A transfer from UNCW. That's Wilmington with 59 seconds to go.
Evan Taylor, the lone person that has made a few threes on the floor right now. The difference between the college game and the high school game, fatigue begins to set in with these guys as well, even for the transfers.
Yeah.
And just from a Presbyterian perspective, if they can hold on, undoubtedly one of the more significant wins in this program's history, a program that has not been to the NCAA tournament as a D1 member. This is a program
27 last year, 1-17 in their conference. So you're talking about a completely radical pivot to what they experienced last year already in game one with an energy surge. There's that corner drift. We call it a ghost pass to the corner. Got to shoot it.
Tipped in that time by Carter Lang. 8-point ball game, 40 seconds to go.
See, in this situation, unfortunately, Malik Presley, not knowing who he has on defense, they're able to get an easy outlet pass, and now you're just eating away at their clock. Now you're hopeful that they miss a free throw, but we got to be more locked in down the stretch so that you take away those opportunities, give yourself a chance to get a steal and get back into this game.
This will be a 1-and-1 free throw attempt too, so you got to be ready to rebound the ball and play fast. Only down 8, that's 3 possessions. You can get 3 shots, quality shots, in the last 37 seconds for certain.
Well, we've certainly seen crazier things happen,
especially in this building.
Especially in this building. But you got to play fast. You got to play fast.
Ezra's got to get downhill right now. I mean, you got to go.
Three-pointer.
Got it. Ezra. Got it.
You got to get matched
now
up quickly.
5.
You got to deny. If they do get it in, you got to foul immediately.
Okay, once again, this is going to be, I believe, is this the 19th foul? So this will be 1-and-1 again, but there's that step back, Shane. I mean, we've seen it a couple of times, but I tell you, this is a tough shot for young players, but Ezra did a great job of getting his legs underneath him and jumping straight out and not allowing gravity to pull him backwards away from the basket.
And it's from the top of the key, so it's the longest three-point shot.
16 points in this half. 1-and-1. This will be the last 1-and-1 again.
For the same guy that just missed the front half of the 1-and-1.
Big make.
Big make.
And this is significant, too, because this puts it at a 7-point margin, which is 3 possessions. Yeah.
3 for 5 from the free throw out here tonight for Harvey. Yes.
Again, got to go fast. Whether you get something at the rim or you shoot a 3, you just got to go fast.
Taylor. Taken away. 13 seconds to go. Down to 10. Mignon. Yes. 4-point ball game. 9.7 into Presbyterian. There's the foul. So Barnett to the free throw line. 61% as a free throw shooter a season ago.
Presbyterian showing great poise through this, but Ezra, big-time players just make big-time plays. Ezra trying to keep his team into the game right here. Not normally known as a three-point shooter, but they tend to give him a little more space, so it's a little more comfortable of a shot for him.
19 points in this half. It just tells you in the first half what Vanderbilt was missing without him on the court.
Well, he's your energy guy on offense and on defense. He's a guy that the other players trust with the basketball. A lot of times they defer to him. And on top of that, he's the only guy that's creating for not only himself but for others, getting those paint touches and opening up your offense.
First free throw of the ball game for Barnett falls. Six-point game, 7.5 to go. Ezra for three. That'll do it. Presbyterian, the Blue Hose, beats the Blue Board Conference. Big South.